Welcome and good evening, everyone, and welcome again to today's session, the Wisdom Bridge Parenting Workshop. We'll wait for a minute or so from where you're joining so that we can know more about you. So, here in this workshop, we'll be communicating with the chat box and maybe with the unmute as well, as we are going with the presentation, the session, the workshop. Hyderabad, okay. So Ramakrishnan ji is joining from Hyderabad. You can just write in where you're joining in from. Okay, Monica ji is joining from Kanha, Hyderabad again. Wonderful. Okay, so without a further ado, let's start with today's session. And we all are here in the parenting workshop based on the book, The Wisdom Bridge, written by our revered Daji, Kamlesh D. Patel. And the best thing I like about this book is when he says that the 9 principles are like the matches in the matchbox. Whichever comes into the hand, it gives the way forward or lights our path. So today we are here dealing with a new principle, and to share that new principle, we have with us Anjali Bapat ma'am from Pune, and I'll just share her bio so that I think most of us are knowing her from before, but it's a real honor to have her to present this session with us. So Anjali ma'am has been working with children with special needs for the past 20 years, first as a volunteer in UK and Singapore, and then as a professional in India. She has conducted several webinars for education and at a national level and organized by reputed educational institutions. She is an electronics graduate from Ferguson College and double postgraduate in economics and music. So as working with special children was one of her passions, she pursued a diploma in learning disabilities management. And she has been a meditator since 1995 and a trainer since 2016. Being a part of the school community, she has been focused in working with the Heartfulness Education Trust, working really hard as the backbone and developing programs reaching to schools and students. So I heartily welcome you, ma'am, and I hand over the session to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Adita, for that introduction. Yes, very warm welcome to everyone present here. And I'm glad that even though it's 31st of December, many of you are here. I'm sure you have some programs ahead. And I promise you will finish in time. And you'll have a good start.
Recording in progress.
Because of this nice session that we'll have today. So yes, we are in continuation with the series of the Wisdom Bridge parenting workshops. I hope you all have your copy and everyone is reading it sincerely. And as we share, it's really best that you cover the subject or the topic that we are going to discuss in every workshop. So we really get the maximum benefit of it. You may come ready with your questions and the interaction will be much more meaningful. So thank you for everyone joining today, and let's proceed with the session today. So our today's topic is that lifestyle is an expression of one's attitude. I think Daji is an important topic on everyone's mind. Lifestyle, the lifestyle that our children live, and not just the children, even us. And we have to be able to guide the children how to. I'm so sorry. I keep. Yes. So I think three basic things that Rivya Daji is talking about in this particular principle. I think there are three chapters. One is he's emphasizing a lot on sleep and sleep cycles. Those of you who have children and youngsters and teenagers especially, I know I'm a mother of two teenagers, and during the lockdown, I was so concerned about the kind of sleep patterns that they were developing. And I'm sure those of you who are parents of teenagers are feeling me when I say that. Terrible sleeping and waking patterns, because there was nothing to hold the day together. Everything was online. No one could check what they're doing. And it became really, really a matter for concern. So Rivya Daji is also very much wanting to focus on the importance of sleep. He is later on also talking about food and also about finances, because these are the three things. The lifestyle choices we make is what is going to determine the quality of our lives. How do we sleep? What kind of food we eat? And how do we manage our finances? And so when he's talking about lifestyle as an expression of one's attitude, what is our attitude towards sleep? What is it towards food? And what is it towards money? These are the three important aspects. So let's look at them one by one. We'll talk about the importance of sleep. So as Rivya Daji, he begins with a very beautiful story about a butterfly effect. That the butterfly effect is actually the short story is a sound of thunder. And in this story, some people time travel back to the age of dinosaurs. And then they come back to the present age and they find that many changes have happened. Whole world has become upside down. So many changes have occurred. They can't understand why or how. But then one of the person who time travels sees looks on his shoe, and he sees that there's a butterfly that he has stamped by mistake. And killing that butterfly before its time created a chain reaction of small changes, then bigger changes, snowballing into drastic changes. So why he begins with this? He says that sleep is like that butterfly effect. One night you don't sleep properly, it will not affect you. 2 nights, maybe not. But when day after day after day, you don't sleep well, you don't prioritize sleep, your sleep cycles, that's when it's going to start having a disastrous effect on your health. And you will find that by the end of a couple of years, you will be, you'll have a whole lot of problems because you're not prioritizing your sleep.
Excuse me.
Yes.
Sister, there's a box in front of your PPT. This PowerPoint present. Now it's gone. Thank you.
Oh, I didn't do anything actually.
It's coming again and again.
How is it there?
This PowerPoint presentation may look different. Now it's gone. Something happens in between.
Oh.
No problem. No problem.
Okay, because I'm not able to see that box. Do you want to try to? We'll see for a while. If that keeps coming, then you can present a PPT, and in case it starts disturbing us again.
It's coming again, and maybe once you click, it goes off. Yeah, it goes off. Once your mouse is idle, it comes back, I think so.
Okay. So do you want to present the PPT then, in case this is happening all the time?
Yeah, I think it won't be able to. We'll not be able to see the presentation as a whole right now.
Yeah.
If it is possible, you can put it in a normal view, not the presenter's view. Then I think it will be fine.
Okay. Because I'm using this.
I got to know. Yes.
using a MacBook, and that's why I think this is happening. So are you able to share the PPT then?
Yes, I will be able to.
So you can, if you do that, then that will be good. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. So now we'll talk about the importance of sleep. Can you go to the next slide? Yeah. Yes, the next slide, sister. So we need to understand how a good night's sleep really helps us. There are, that there are two basic cycles. One is the non-rapid eye movement cycle, which is a deep sleep state. And the second is the rapid eye movement cycle. What happens, sister? You're not able to do it?
Just a second. Mine also hanging up. I don't know.
Yeah, no worries. No, I'll just continue with the discussion.
Yeah.
So the non-rapid eye movement cycle is a deep sleep cycle that comes first when we go to sleep. That also, and then the second is the rapid eye movement. So what are the stages of sleep also very beautifully is given in a very scientific way. In the first 5 to 10 minutes before going to sleep, our waking consciousness is still active. And then after that, there are light sleep stage, and we have sleep spindles which slowly start shutting out the ambient noises, and then we enter the state of deep sleep. This is also known as non-rapid eye movement sleep. And during non-rapid eye movement sleep, a lot of consolidation of our memories takes place. We get rid of a lot of unwanted memories or irrelevant memories that are not needed are all purged out. So it's a very, very important state. It's also called synaptic pruning. All unnecessary connections are also removed, and this happens in the NREM, the non-rapid eye movement state, or the deep sleep state. And the rapid eye movement state happens after that. This is the state where we usually will dream, and it has a vital role in harmonizing the experiences we have in the world outside. So when we go to sleep late, we compromise on the NREM sleep, and the whole cycle gets disturbed. And that is why we should really take care of sleeping on time. The second part is about sleep and the subtle body. So we know that the physical health, physical body is also very, very important, and it helps us sleep. But what about the subtle bodies? We as heartfulness practitioners know that our subtle body consists of the consciousness, the mind, the intellect, and the ego. So even these bodies are also getting rest. And he's given a very beautiful example, is that when the physical body is asleep, the soul is like a warm fire, and all the subtle bodies gather around the soul as if to keep warm, and they get nourished by the soul during deep sleep, during the NREM sleep. So it's very important, another important aspect of deep sleep. Now, we are all designed for circadian rhythms. I can also do this then, sister. Should I try this? If it's not working in presentation mode, should I try and do that?
I think so, because I am not sure this is happening again.
Yeah. I'll try. Yeah. Okay. Is this okay? Is the
now
box
fine? Yes, now it's gone. That only was showing up.
Okay. Box is gone now?
Yes.
Okay. So now our system is built for circadian rhythms. So what do you mean by circadian rhythms? Anyone has a clue? It's due to the sun cycle, or when the sun rises and when the sun sets. So for centuries before the invention of electricity, our whole activity was defined by the waking hours or by the daylight hours, because we can only work or do things well when there is daylight. And when there was darkness, we would take our rest. So our body has been actually hardwired for centuries to live like this. Now, suddenly, since the invention of electricity, we are doing things at night also. And of course, many people are working different shifts as well. So that really messes up with our body clock. So many different problems we might face, like blood pressure, so many different stress related diseases will all happen because we are not following a correct circadian rhythm. Our modern lifestyle has really disrupted these rhythms and is making us very putting a lot of stress on us. And one Dr. Sachin Panda had done a research where he found that inside the eyes there is a protein called melanopsin, which is able to detect blue light. And when it sees the blue light, it thinks it is daytime. Now, you all know our devices emit this blue light and the body thinks it's daytime. So can you see how much it is messing up our whole system when we watch something on our devices, on our tablets, sitting in bed just before we sleep? So this is definitely to be avoided, that just before we sleep, we should at least be away from the devices for 2 hours if possible. Now, he calls that sleep as an investment. Okay, and he quotes something very wonderful by Albert Einstein. Albert Einstein says that compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world. And he who understands it earns it, and he who doesn't understand it pays it. So why is he talking about compound interest in a subject like sleep? So Daji says sleep is like compound interest. The more you invest on it early on a regular basis, the more rewards you're going to reap later on in your life. So I think sleep is something that many of us struggle with. Many of our children, especially teenagers, are really struggling with right now. So we really need to try and put the bio clock back in the important place that it belongs. So we'll move to the, as I said, its effect on the three bodies. We discussed this. And that is why we need to invest in our sleep. Now, here are some tips for getting a good night's sleep as guided by Revered Daji. Rise early in the morning and spend few minutes out in the sun, because that activates our cells. Around sunset, when you finish your day's work, do your heartfulness cleaning. I'm sure many of you are already doing that. Wind down in the evening for a couple of hours before sleeping. Okay, and definitely not with your tablets, not with your computers or phones. At bedtime, first analyze what you could have done better during the day and let go of any wrongs you have done, vowing not to repeat them. Those of you who are heartfulness practitioners know that this is maxim 10. And when we do this very sincerely before we sleep at night, our conscious is so light that we're able to sleep very well. And last thing before we sleep, we do the heartfulness prayer so that we sleep in a deeply and relaxed state connected to the center within us. So these tips are all available in the book. So those of us who are struggling with sleep, please definitely buy the book. He has given many more small tips which will surely help you and give your children also a better night's sleep. Babuji said something very beautiful. Let the sleeper sleep, So whenever before conducting a group meditation, if somebody was sleeping, he used to say, don't wake them. Let the sleeper sleep. Don't disturb them. And of course, as a master, he was very loving towards the Abhyasis, but that was not the only reason why he was doing that. He was doing that because the kind of subtle work that can happen when you are in a sleepful state is much deeper than in your waking state. Okay, these are some more tips that are given here. But I'll just complete the story about Revered Babuji and how he used to say, let the sleeper sleep. Even he said that don't wake anyone very harshly. You should be very gentle when you wake up. Now, Revered Daji is saying that Build such a lifestyle that your children wake up naturally on their own in the morning. So for that, we have to make sure that they sleep on time. If they sleep on time, they'll get enough rest, they'll wake up on their own. Now, suppose they are not waking up on their own. Make sure you wake them very gently and keep 15 to 20 minutes in the morning just to wake them very lovingly and very gently. So you can call out their name very softly, tap them very gently. Don't shake them. Don't shout their name. Don't say, get up fast, it's so late. Because that wakes them very rudely. It's a shock for them. Maybe they're in the deep sleep state, the NREM sleep. And suddenly when they're shaken and made to wake up like that, it's very disturbing for their whole emotional, physical well-being. So let's wake sleeping people very gently. As Babuji says very beautifully, let the sleepers sleep. So we'll continue with the tips for getting a good night's sleep. Rise up early in the morning. Oh, this we have read. Okay, sorry. So we wash your feet before going to bed. Try sleeping on the right side, as Daji says. Imagine cool, gentle water falling from above on your head. Drink a glass of warm milk. Do the relaxation, heartful lying down in bed. And listen to music that helps you relax. There is some very nice music available on our website. Do go and experience it. Try fasting or try sleeping on the ground or on the floor. Now, the next aspect about lifestyle that Daji is talking about is about money or finances. And he talks about the poverty and prosperity paradox. Okay. So he uses a very beautiful term here called medium maximization. What does that mean? He begins with the example of marks. So now when we put our children in the school, they are studying the subjects, and to show what they have learned, they need to give the exams. But what starts happening slowly? We start focusing only on the exams and on the marks. And what have they learned or what have they not learned sometimes gets quite ignored. And the medium, so we are saying, why are we making them give the exam so that they should learn? What is the medium of knowing what they have learned is the exam. But we start focusing on the medium rather than focusing on the end result. And that is a term called medium maximization. Now, Daji said the same thing applies with money also. Now, why do we want to earn money? We want to cover our basic needs. And many of us believe that money will bring us happiness. And that is not wrong, completely wrong. When we are comfortable, when we have enough finances, it does bring us happiness to a certain extent. But that is not the end of it. When we start focusing only on the money, then that becomes a medium maximization. Money is the medium to bring us peace and happiness. Money in itself is not the end, it's not the goal. But we start forgetting that sometimes, right? And Babuji gave a very beautiful quote when Daji has in this book described that when he was a student in Ahmedabad, Babuji Maharaj had visited them over there. And he was a volunteer when he was driving people to and from the ashram, from the railway station. He used to run out to buy milk for the younger children. He used to do a lot of work. He has described in the book. And at the end of it, Babuji Maharaj said this beautiful quote, ki, राहे तलब में ऐसे बेखबर हो गए, मंजिल पे आके मंजिल को ढूंढते हैं. Okay, so what does it mean? That we become so involved in the medium of reaching where we want to reach that we forget the destination. We get so involved with making money that we forget why we are earning money in the first place. So we need to start thinking about money differently. So we are so engrossed with the path that even when we reach the goal, we continue searching for it. So we just keep feeling that if we earn money, we'll become happy. But sometimes we forget about the happiness and we just keep running on the same place. It's like running on a treadmill and not going anywhere when we focus only on making money. If you look at money as energy, so whether energy is beneficial or harmful depends on how you use it. For example, a fire keeps a person warm. However, the same fire can also burn down the house. So is fire good or bad? It's a rhetorical question. In the same way, whether money helps you raise a happy family or not depends on how you use it. So now it's very, very important to use the money in a proper way. Now we are all faced by this problem of materialism. Okay. So, what is materialism is when we focus on too much on things or on things that we need for our life. Today's parents are more concerned about materialism and how to protect children from its effects. Materialism is a value system that places importance on wealth, status, power, possessions, and display of all these things over being a good human being, right? And when materialism becomes out of hand, it becomes an addiction. And so parents get concerned that I hope my children don't get caught in this trap of materialism. So, does more money mean more happiness? That's not necessarily the case, because there was a study done by psychologists Paul Piff and Keltner, and they found that more money actually made people worse human beings. As they climb up the socioeconomic ladder, they become more insensitive to people around them. They become more selfish. They become less generous. So actually, the human qualities become, or the good values, or being a good human being starts declining. The more and more money you make is what the research was founded. So we have to be very, very careful, even if we earn money, how to make sure it is not affecting us as people, and we are bringing up our children in a correct way. Now, what happens with many of us, we maybe struggled when we were children, and we came up from maybe difficult circumstances, and now we are comfortable. So we keep telling our children, when I was your age, I used to be working. When I was your age, I was earning money, or whatever it is. I was studying 10 hours a day because I didn't want to lose my scholarship, whatever it may be. But what is the use of telling our children these stories? Because they are not in the same situation that we are. We had a poverty of finances or money. But now what our children are facing is a poverty of our time. So what are they poor of? They are not poor with money. They have enough comforts, but they are poor as far as our time is concerned. We are not being able to give them that much time. So what do they have less of? They have less of our time, time of their parents, time of their mother and father. So we need to try to correct the poverty where it is being experienced. They're not experiencing poverty of finances. They are experiencing poverty of our parental time that we're spending with them. So let us try very hard to do that. Now, we understand that many of you are struggling to make ends meet. You want to give your children the best. Some are working 2 jobs, 3 jobs. And I'm sure your parents, your children really understand that mommy and daddy are making a lot of sacrifices just to keep us happy. But there are also some amongst us who might be prioritizing social commitments, being out with friends, as opposed to being with their children. So if we are doing that, River Daji is urging everyone that please rethink your lifestyle choices and make sure that now when the children are young, when they're impressionable, when they want to spend time with you, that is the time that you should be spending time with them, because they have a poverty of your time. They don't have poverty of any other resources except your love, your attention, and your time. So let us give it. So being a good provider is not the same thing as being a good parent. They're two different things. You may be a good provider, you may be earning a lot of money for them, but you may not be a good parent. So let us try and be both. Let us try and provide their needs, and let us give them our love, affection, and our undivided attention and time as well. So money is a positive energy that takes care of my worldly desires and needs. This can be the place where we give money in our lives. So we focus on being a good provider and a good parent, both are not necessarily the same, is what we need to understand. So the inner compass which leads us to being a good parent or a good human being is our character. Now, to teach children how to have a correct inner compass, the first thing we need to do is we need to be that way ourselves. We need to have a good character ourselves, and our children are watching us all the time. So Daji also gives very nice examples from his own life, that how sometimes he was on the verge of taking a decision which was not very ethical about finances, about money. And then he saw his child playing in the drawing room, his son. And the son was very small. He was just playing with his cars. And he just looked up at Daji very innocently and continued playing. And when he saw his son and he was about to sign on some papers, he said, I can't do this. My son is watching me. What am I doing? He's listening to it. And if I don't set a good example, how will he learn how to be? So he ends up making a very big loss by not signing on those papers. But in his conscience, he was very clear that he set a good example for his son. He was a good role model for his son. He's possibly put a good inner compass for his children in knowing how to do the right thing. That money is not more important. Having a good character is what's going to give you the good sleep at night, and it's going to make you feel happy from inside. So the time and love of the parents is more crucial than anything else. Raji has also given a very beautiful example of how to spend time with your children. Another research was done is that the family that ate their meals together, actually it was found that a lot of, in teens, the use of drugs, marijuana, lower self-esteem, all those things was much reduced in families that ate together every day, had their meals together every day, as opposed to those who did not spend this time with their family. So believe me, just the simple act of eating a meal with your family is going to contribute to the positive mental health and the character being centered for your children. So the essence of life, as you know, dwells in happy moments spent with your loving family and not in the material possessions. So family time is so important. And I'm sure all of us here believe that, otherwise we would not be attending this workshop at all. So how to teach them about finances? Firstly, try and give them some small responsibilities. Let them use money in a very supervised manner. Be clear and concise with dealing in money yourself, so that you can show them through example. Be careful and clear in financial transactions, especially with family and friends. They say be very careful when getting into business with your friends or lending money to your friends. And I think revered Lalaji has also said that if you're lending money to your friends, lend enough that even if they don't return it, you will not miss it. So make sure that that's how you are with your financial dealings. Candid and clear conversation in money matters to avoid misunderstanding. Spending their pocket money responsibly, saving money they receive on various occasions, and visiting banks with parents. So to teach responsibility, give responsibility. So unless we allow them to make small mistakes, they're not going to learn how to use money. So give them very limited pocket money, see how they're using it, guide them initially, and let them take some decisions, let them make some small mistakes also, because that's how they're going to learn. So this is about the session on lifestyle as an expression of our attitude. Also, during the meals, I think I missed out one point in talking about the meals. I'll just play it back. Rivet Daji has also mentioned about how in the ancient times, cooking was such a sacred activity. Many of us may know that when they're cooking for festivals and for pujas, the women used to bathe early in the morning. They used to wear special garments that only could be worn in the kitchen after their bath, before the prayers. No one was allowed to enter the kitchen. No one was allowed to touch them when they were cooking. So this kind of purity was maintained, and they would be cooking. So this is what kind of attitude used to be there during cooking food. And when you cook with that kind of connectedness with with the inner self or with God, that kind of vibration gets into the food. And then when you all eat together in that kind of attitude, that's when really something beautiful will happen. Everyone will benefit from that high vibratory level of the food you're consuming. He said, of course, later on, this became kind of a ritual and it became dogmatic. And the essence of why you were doing it was lost. But even today, why not we can recreate that kind of state of mind when we are cooking? He suggested that we should involve children when you're cooking. Everyone connect with your hearts, connect with the source within. And now let's follow a recipe that's given by your grandmother, or some family recipe that has been passed down through generations. Cook together with your children, involve them in it, and then sit together and eat. Before eating, what should we do? We should all pray, remaining connected with our hearts. We pray together. There are many beautiful prayers in our cultures. I think every culture has a very nice prayer to say before you eat, because it's something that when you're thankful to the maker, it enhances the value of the food. You can pray that may the highest vibratory level of this food reach me, and so on and so forth. So cooking, community, and purity and love, it really adds to the wellness of the whole family when we cook together and eat together. And of course, Daji in this book has recommended plant-based food. Everyone can read through the chapter and see how to adopt good eating practices in their lifestyle. So that's about this session on lifestyle is an expression of your inner attitude. And I would now, maybe it would be nice if we could all meditate together for about 10-15 minutes, if that's okay with you.
Yes.
Is everyone okay to meditate for about 5 minutes? Or would you like to have some questions first? Okay, I think if all are okay, we'll go through a guided relaxation and we can meditate. So everyone, I request you all to please be seated very comfortably and close your eyes very softly and gently. We will begin with heartfulness relaxation. Take a deep breath and let go. Wiggle your toes and now feel them relax. Feel a relaxing energy move up through the soles of your feet, your ankles, your calves, right up to your knees. Relax all the muscles in your thighs. Now relax your hips, your stomach, your abdomen, and deeply relax your waist. Gently move your awareness to your back. From the top to the bottom, your entire back is now completely relaxed. Relax your chest and shoulders. Feel all the stress from your shoulders simply melting away. Relax your upper arms, your forearms, your hands, right up to your fingertips. Your entire arms are now completely relaxed. Relax all the muscles in your neck. Very gently move your awareness to your head. Relax your jaw and your chin. Relax all the muscles in your mouth. Relax your nose, your eyes, your eyebrows, your forehead, all your facial muscles, your earlobes, all the muscles of your scalp, right up to the roots of your hair. Experience how your entire body is now completely relaxed. Very gently, bring your awareness to your heart. Give a suggestion that the source of divine light is already present in your heart and is attracting your attention from within. Feel immersed in the love and light present in your heart. If thoughts come, simply ignore them. If your mind wanders, remind yourself there's divine light in the heart and come back. And all these suggestions to be given very, very gently, very, very easily. We'll now meditate in silence for a few minutes. Please start meditation. That's all. Keep your eyes closed and take a few minutes to think about whatever you have experienced during the meditation. When you feel ready, you can gently open your eyes. So thank you very much, dear parents. If you have any observations or any questions, I'll be very happy to take them right now. Would anyone like to ask anything?
I think we are all absorbed with the meditation and the thing that we are all talking about lifestyle. Just one thought was crossing my mind that we all struggle in maintaining a lifestyle.
Yeah.
I think for that, routine and automatism is the key. That is what
very true. Very true.
Doing something at a regular interval, at a regular time, fixed time, and then, as Daji says, that interest is all that matters.
Absolutely.
We all are here on the last day of the year. I think that shows a lot of inner insight for all of us. Yes. Thank you so much, sister, for this beautiful session. And I hope
Marco has written this beautiful book so that we have such sessions to discuss.
Surely. And all the parents are also just sharing in the chat box. Thank you. Okay. So if we don't have any more queries or discussions, we can close up the session for today, and we'll meet again next year. That would be great to say. That and hope that this new year brings a lot of blessings and happiness towards our way, and we all stay connected like this for a long time.
There's a question, is there a WhatsApp group for Wisdom Bridge parents? I think we should have one, right?
Yes, we can have a community. I think that way we can have more and more participants.
Let's do that. Brother Guru, that's a very nice suggestion. We'll surely act on it and have one immediately. I think it's a very apt topic that we had today about lifestyle, because considering everyone in their New Year resolutions, we want to say that we will, get up earlier, exercise better, all those things. So eat better. So I think this is a good way to begin the new year with this session. And I pray that everyone is able to keep their resolutions for the whole year.